Hello, I'm Claudia Lage, and thank you for your interest in our research on the unsupervised data-driven classification of autistic and neurotypical adults before and during the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic was an unprecedented global situation with a profound impact on people's well-being. It is estimated that the pandemic led to an additional 53 million cases of depression and 76 million cases of anxiety disorders globally. Despite the known impact, it remains unclear how it may have affected autistic and neurotypical adults differently. Autistic adults have higher rates of mental health difficulties, with anxiety disorders estimated to affect around 40%. Here, we investigated the existence of distinct subgroups of difficulty in terms of restricted and repetitive behaviors and intolerance of uncertainty, and explored how these subgroups differed in mental health before and during lockdown. Online data was collected during the first UK lockdown, and each questionnaire included a before and during lockdown measure. We took a transdiagnostic approach with a total of 598 autistic and neurotypical adults. Our analyses involved three main steps. First, multidimensional scaling was used to project data in two-dimensional space, as it aims to preserve the original inter-observation distances. Fuzzy C-means was then used as a clustering algorithm, and subsequently, the average silhouette coefficient was used as a validation index, with the conventional 0.5 and over threshold considered as a reliable evidence for clustering. A two-cluster solution was obtained, with cluster 1 being predominantly autistic and cluster 2 predominantly neurotypical. Cluster 1 had significantly higher restricted and repetitive behaviors, intolerance of uncertainty, anxiety, and depression, both before and during lockdown. Interestingly, we also found that some autistic adults were assigned to the predominantly neurotypical cluster, and some neurotypical adults were assigned to the predominantly autistic cluster. Furthermore, their mental health was more closely aligned with a data-driven classification rather than diagnostic status. Unsupervised data-driven methods enable the discovery of hidden structures in data without the assumption of prior labels. Our clustering analyses were able to capture two distinct transdiagnostic subgroups of restricted and repetitive behaviors and intolerance of uncertainty, and the variability in depression and anxiety. That is, for some autistic and neurotypical adults, their mental health was more closely aligned with a data-driven classification rather than diagnostic status. Identifying inter-individual variability subsumed under a shared diagnostic label has important clinical ramifications, as it enables the progression towards more individualized support that considers specific profiles of strengths and difficulties. Data-driven classification can also pave the way for future research to investigate potential mechanistic differences underlying distinct subgroups. Thank you very much for listening.